Hello, dear listener. Welcome to the Dreamy Drift, a sanctuary of stories, a haven of hushed whispers and hidden worlds. Here, we traverse the landscapes of imagination, journeying through tales spun from the loom of mystery and intrigue. We invite you to leave the mundane behind and step into a realm where the ordinary meets the extraordinary, where the sands of time shift underfoot, and where secrets from the past beckon to be uncovered. Tonight, we journey to the quaint, seemingly unremarkable village of St. Mary Mead. Nestled in the heart of England, this village, with its thatched cottages and blooming gardens, is a picture of tranquility. But beneath its serene facade, it harbors a tale that will send ripples through the fabric of history. Our story revolves around Charles Cavendish, a man of courage and determination, and his quest to unravel the truth behind the mysterious death of his beloved aunt, the enigmatic Lady Edith. Lady Edith, a woman of elegance and intellect, was a beacon of knowledge, her life dedicated to unearthing the secrets of the past. But her untimely death leaves behind a trail of questions, a puzzle that Charles is determined to solve. As we delve deeper into this tale, we will traverse the grand halls of the Laurels, Lady Edith's majestic manor, and venture into the world of ancient civilizations and lost treasures. We will encounter allies and adversaries, face danger and deceit, and uncover a secret that could change the course of history. So, dear listener, settle in. Let the world outside fade away as the world within our tale comes alive. Let the flickering firelight cast dancing shadows on the walls as you sink into your chair, the soft fabric enveloping you like a warm embrace. Let your eyes close, your breath slow, as the story of the Laurels and its hidden secrets envelop you. Prepare for an adventure that will keep you on the edge of your seat, a tale that will whisk you away on the wings of suspense and intrigue. Welcome, dear listener, to the world of the Dreamy Drift. Let the story begin. In the serene and picturesque hamlet of St. Mary Mead, nestled amidst the undulating hills and lush pastures of the English countryside, there existed a tranquility that was almost tangible. The village, with its quaint thatched cottages, cobblestone streets, and a charming old church, was a relic of a bygone era, untouched by the relentless march of modernity. At the heart of the village, standing with an air of quiet dignity, was a grand manor known to the locals as the Laurels. It was a stately home, with ivy creeping up its stone walls, large bay windows that overlooked the sprawling gardens, and a grand oak door that had welcomed countless guests over the centuries. The Laurels was home to the venerable Lady Edith Cavendish, a woman of considerable wealth, age, and an aura of mystery that seemed to hang around her like a delicate perfume. Lady Edith, a widow in her late 70s, was a figure of intrigue in St. Mary Mead. Her piercing blue eyes held a depth of wisdom and secrets that intrigued the villagers. Yet she was seldom seen in public, preferring the solitude of her manor, the company of her books, and the quiet whispers of her rose garden. Her only regular visitor was her nephew, Charles Cavendish, a dashing young man with a reputation for charm, a roguish smile, and a penchant for trouble. One fateful evening, as the sun began to set, casting long, eerie shadows across the village, a chilling discovery was made. Lady Edith was found lifeless in her study. The room was in disarray, papers strewn about like fallen leaves, a toppled chair, and the unmistakable signs of a struggle. Yet the doors were locked from the inside, and the windows were securely fastened. There was no sign of forced entry, no indication of an intruder. The news of Lady Edith's untimely demise sent a shockwave through the village. The local constabulary, unaccustomed to such grisly affairs, was at a loss. The cause of death was unclear, and the circumstances surrounding it were even more puzzling. The peaceful hamlet of St. Mary Mead had been thrust into a mystery that would baffle even the most seasoned detective. Charles Cavendish, upon hearing the news, rushed to the Laurels. His usual charm was nowhere to be seen, replaced by a look of despair and shock. As he stood in the study amidst the chaos, he made a solemn vow. He would leave no stone unturned, no secret unearthed, until he uncovered the truth behind his beloved aunt's death. Thus began a tale of intrigue and suspense that would slowly unravel the secrets of St. Mary Mead, exposing the hidden facets of its seemingly ordinary inhabitants. A tale that would prove that even in the most tranquil of villages, beneath the veneer of peace and simplicity, lurked a darkness that was as old as time itself. As the days turned into weeks, the mystery of Lady Edith's death remained unsolved. The villagers, once friendly and open, now seemed guarded and suspicious. The Laurels, once a symbol of grandeur and elegance, now stood as a grim reminder of the tragedy that had befallen its mistress. And Charles Cavendish, once the village's charming rogue, was now a man on a mission, determined to bring his aunt's killer to justice. Time passed in St. Mary Mead, but the mystery surrounding Lady Edith's death remained as impenetrable as ever. Charles Cavendish, driven by a mix of grief and determination, found himself drawn into the labyrinth that was his aunt's past. Beneath the veneer of a reclusive widow, he discovered a woman of adventure, intellect, and intrigue. Lady Edith, it seemed, had been a woman of the world. Her travels had taken her to the far corners of the earth, from the sun-drenched pyramids of Egypt to the misty highlands of Scotland. Her home was filled with mementos of her journeys, rare artifacts, exotic curios, and a library filled with books on history and archaeology. Charles spent his days immersed in his aunt's world, poring over her journals and correspondences. He found letters from renowned archaeologists, esteemed historians, and even a few notes from members of the nobility. Each letter, each note, was a piece of the puzzle, a glimpse into the life Lady Edith had led. Yet the more he discovered, the more elusive the truth seemed to become. There were no signs of threats, no hints of a motive for murder. Lady Edith's correspondences were filled with scholarly discussions, polite pleasantries, and the occasional bit of gossip, but nothing that suggested danger. The villagers watched with a mix of curiosity and apprehension as Charles delved deeper into the mystery. The once charming rogue was now a man possessed, his every waking moment consumed by his quest for the truth. The Laurels, once a symbol of grandeur, had become a fortress of solitude for Charles, its grand halls echoing with the whispers of the past. The mystery of Lady Edith's death had cast a long shadow over St. Mary Mead. The once tranquil village was now a place of hushed whispers and suspicious glances. Yet life went on. The villagers went about their daily routines. The seasons changed, and the world kept turning. But amidst the quiet routine of village life, a storm was brewing. A storm that would shake St. Mary Mead to its very core, revealing secrets that had been buried for decades. And at the heart of this storm was Charles Cavendish, a man on a mission, a man determined to uncover the truth, no matter the cost. In the heart of the storm, Charles Cavendish stood resolute. His determination to uncover the truth about his aunt's death had become an obsession, a beacon that guided him through the murky waters of mystery and intrigue. He was a man on a mission, and he would not be deterred. His investigation led him to a series of letters exchanged between Lady Edith and a certain Dr. Albert Finch, a renowned archaeologist known for his groundbreaking work in Egypt. The letters were filled with discussions about ancient civilizations, archaeological discoveries, and theories that challenged conventional wisdom. But amidst the scholarly discourse, Charles noticed a subtle undercurrent of tension, a hint of something more than just academic interest. Intrigued, Charles decided to pay a visit to Dr. Finch. The archaeologist lived in a small cottage on the outskirts of London, a far cry from the grandeur of the Laurels. Dr. Finch, a man in his 60s with a weather-beaten face and keen eyes, welcomed Charles with a mixture of surprise and curiosity. Over a cup of strong tea, Charles explained his purpose. He spoke of Lady Edith's death, the mystery surrounding it, and his quest for the truth. Dr. Finch listened intently, his eyes reflecting a myriad of emotions: surprise, concern, and a hint of sadness. When Charles finished his tale, Dr. Finch leaned back in his chair, a thoughtful expression on his face. He admitted that he and Lady Edith had been close, their shared passion for archaeology forging a bond between them. But he was just as baffled by her death as Charles was. As the afternoon sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows in the small cottage, Dr. Finch made a startling revelation. He spoke of a rare artifact that Lady Edith had discovered during her travels, an artifact that could change the course of history. But she had feared that it would fall into the wrong hands and had hidden it away. The revelation sent a chill down Charles's spine. Could this artifact be the key to solving the mystery of Lady Edith's death? Could it be the motive behind the murder? As he left Dr. Finch's cottage, Charles knew that he was one step closer to uncovering the truth. But he also knew that he was delving deeper into a world of danger and deceit, a world where the stakes were higher than he could have ever imagined. Armed with this new information, Charles returned to St. Mary Mead, his mind buzzing with theories and possibilities. The artifact that Dr. Finch had mentioned could indeed be the missing piece of the puzzle. But where had Lady Edith hidden it, and who else knew about its existence? Back at the Laurels, Charles began a thorough search of the manor. He scoured every room, every nook and cranny, looking for any sign of the artifact. He examined Lady Edith's personal belongings, her collection of artifacts, and even her extensive library. But the search yielded no results. Frustrated but undeterred, Charles decided to revisit Lady Edith's correspondences. He spent hours poring over the letters, looking for any clue, any hint that might lead him to the artifact. His perseverance paid off when he stumbled upon a cryptic message in one of Lady Edith's letters to Dr. Finch. The message spoke of a guardian of the past, hidden where time stands still. The message was undoubtedly a clue, but its meaning was shrouded in mystery. Charles spent the following days trying to decipher it, his mind constantly working to unravel the riddle. His efforts were rewarded when he realized that the guardian of the past referred to an ancient sundial in the gardens of the Laurels, a place where time stands still. With renewed hope, Charles rushed to the sundial. It was an ancient stone structure, weathered by time, its shadow a silent marker of the passing hours. As he examined it, he noticed a hidden compartment at the base of the sundial. His heart pounding with anticipation, he opened it to reveal a small, intricately carved box. Inside the box was the artifact, a small golden amulet, its surface etched with symbols of a long-forgotten language. As Charles held it in his hands, he could feel its weight, its history, and perhaps its danger. He knew then that he had unearthed a secret that had cost Lady Edith her life. But the discovery of the artifact raised more questions than it answered. Why was it so valuable? Who else was after it? And most importantly, who was willing to kill for it? The unearthing of the golden amulet marked a significant turning point in Charles's investigation. The weight of the artifact in his hand was not just the weight of the gold it was made of, but the weight of history, secrets, and a deadly desire that had already claimed one life. The true nature of the artifact and its significance, however, remained shrouded in mystery. Charles knew he needed expert help to decipher the secrets of the amulet. His thoughts immediately turned to Dr. Finch, the archaeologist who had been a close confidant of Lady Edith. With the amulet securely tucked away in his pocket, Charles embarked on the journey back to London, his mind abuzz with questions and theories. The reunion with Dr. Finch was a revelation. The archaeologist was astounded by the artifact. His weather-beaten face lit up with excitement as he carefully examined the amulet. The symbols etched on the amulet, he explained, belonged to an ancient civilization that had vanished into the sands of time thousands of years ago. The civilization was believed to have amassed a legendary treasure, and the amulet was the key to unlocking it. The revelation hit Charles like a thunderbolt. Lady Edith had not just discovered an artifact, she had found a key to a lost treasure. It was no wonder that she had gone to great lengths to protect it, but it also meant that she had unwittingly made enemies, people who would stop at nothing to get their hands on the treasure. With this newfound knowledge, Charles returned to St. Mary Mead. His journey back was filled with a sense of foreboding. The stakes were higher than ever, and he could trust no one. The once tranquil village had transformed into a battlefield, and Charles found himself a pawn in a deadly game. Back at the Laurels, Charles felt a palpable change in the atmosphere. The manor, once a symbol of grandeur and peace, now seemed to be shrouded in an aura of unease. He felt eyes on him wherever he went, heard whispers in the silence of the night, and couldn't shake off the feeling of being watched. The peaceful manor had turned into a house of secrets, its grand halls echoing with unseen threats. One stormy night, as Charles sat in his study, poring over Lady Edith's letters, he was startled by a knock on the door. A hooded figure cloaked in darkness stood at the doorstep of the Laurels. The stranger claimed to have information about Lady Edith's death. Fearful but intrigued, Charles invited the stranger in, unknowingly opening the door to a new chapter of the mystery. As the stranger stepped into the light, Charles felt a chill run down his spine. The game was far from over, and the night was full of secrets waiting to be unveiled. The peaceful village of St. Mary Mead was about to be shaken once again, and at the heart of it all was Charles Cavendish, a man on a mission, a man walking on the edge of danger. The stranger, cloaked in the shadows of the stormy night, introduced himself as Thomas Blackwood. His voice was a low whisper, barely audible over the howling wind outside. He claimed to be an old acquaintance of Lady Edith, someone who had shared her passion for archaeology and history. Thomas spoke of expeditions they had embarked on together, of ancient ruins they had explored, and of the countless secrets they had unearthed. But his eyes, a piercing gray, held a depth of sorrow as he spoke of Lady Edith. It was clear that her death had affected him deeply. As the night wore on, Thomas revealed the reason for his visit. He had heard about Lady Edith's death and the discovery of the amulet. He knew about the treasure it was supposed to unlock and the danger it posed. He warned Charles that there were people powerful and ruthless who would stop at nothing to get their hands on the amulet. The revelation sent a chill down Charles's spine. He had suspected that the amulet was the motive behind Lady Edith's murder, but hearing it from Thomas made it all too real. He realized that he was not just dealing with a village mystery, but a dangerous game that extended far beyond the boundaries of St. Mary Mead. Thomas offered his help in solving the mystery. He had known Lady Edith well and was familiar with her work. He also had contacts in the world of archaeology who could help them understand the significance of the amulet. Despite his initial reservations, Charles knew that he needed all the help he could get. He agreed to work with Thomas, marking the beginning of an unlikely alliance. Over the next few days, Charles and Thomas delved deeper into the mystery. They revisited Lady Edith's correspondences, her notes on various archaeological expeditions, and her personal journals. They discovered that Lady Edith had been on the trail of the lost treasure for years, her research pointing her towards the location of the treasure. But the more they discovered, the more they realized the danger they were in. The treasure was not just a hoard of gold and jewels. It was a piece of history, a legacy of a civilization long forgotten. And there were those who wanted to claim that legacy for themselves, regardless of the cost. As Charles and Thomas navigated the labyrinth of secrets and lies, they found themselves drawn into a world of danger and deceit. They knew they were being watched, that every step they took was being monitored. But they also knew that they were the only ones who could solve the mystery and bring Lady Edith's killer to justice. The alliance between Charles and Thomas proved to be a turning point in the investigation. Thomas, with his wealth of knowledge and experience, brought a new perspective to the case. His insights into Lady Edith's research and the world of archaeology were invaluable. Together, they made significant progress, piecing together the fragments of the puzzle. They discovered that Lady Edith had been close to locating the treasure. Her notes were filled with references to an ancient map, a guide to the treasure's location. But the map was nowhere to be found. Charles and Thomas speculated that it might have been stolen, a theory that added another layer of complexity to the mystery. As they delved deeper into the case, they found themselves walking a dangerous path. They received anonymous threats, warning them to stop their investigation, but the threats only strengthened their resolve. They knew they were on the right track, and they wouldn't be intimidated. Despite the danger, life in St. Mary Mead went on. The villagers were oblivious to the storm brewing in their midst. They went about their daily lives, unaware of the secrets that were being unearthed at the Laurels. The village was a picture of tranquility, a stark contrast to the whirlwind of activity within the manor's walls. One day, as Charles was going through Lady Edith's personal papers, he stumbled upon a hidden compartment in her desk. Inside, he found a letter addressed to him. It was from Lady Edith, written a few days before her death. In the letter, she spoke of her fears, of the danger she was in. She mentioned the amulet and the treasure, and she urged Charles to find the truth. The letter was a chilling reminder of the danger they were in, but it was also a beacon of hope, a sign that they were on the right path. Lady Edith had trusted Charles to uncover the truth, and he was determined to honor her trust. As the weeks went by, Charles and Thomas found themselves getting closer to the truth. They were piecing together the puzzle, uncovering secrets that had been buried for centuries. But they were also stepping into a world of danger, a world where the stakes were higher than they could have ever imagined. The missive from Lady Edith unveiled profound insights, showcasing her remarkable foresight and sagacity. It also served as a chilling indication of the peril Charles and Thomas faced. Their involvement wasn't merely with a village enigma, but a perilous chase that bridged vast continents and echoed through ages. Despite the danger, Charles and Thomas were undeterred. They were more determined than ever to solve the mystery and bring Lady Edith's killer to justice. They knew they were close to the truth, and they wouldn't back down now. Their investigation led them to a series of ancient ruins on the outskirts of St. Mary Mead. Lady Edith's notes suggested that the ruins were a crucial piece of the puzzle. Armed with determination and a sense of adventure, Charles and Thomas set out to explore the ruins. The ruins bore silent witness to a civilization lost in the annals of time. They presented a complex network of stone edifices, worn by the relentless march of time and reclaimed by the persistent grasp of nature. As Charles and Thomas maneuvered through the intricate maze of stone and the play of shadows, they could sense the palpable presence of history enveloping them. Their exploration led them to an ancient crypt, hidden away from the world. Inside, they found a series of intricate carvings that matched the symbols on the amulet. It was a breakthrough, a sign that they were on the right track. But their discovery did not go unnoticed. They were ambushed by a group of armed men, their faces hidden behind masks. A struggle ensued, a battle of wits and courage in the heart of the ancient ruins. Charles and Thomas managed to escape, but not before one of the men revealed a shocking truth. He was an associate of Lady Edith, someone she had trusted. The betrayal was a bitter pill to swallow. It was a reminder of the treacherous world they were dealing with, a world where allies could turn into enemies in the blink of an eye, but it also strengthened their resolve. They knew they were close to the truth, and they wouldn't let anything stand in their way. The encounter at the ruins was a wake-up call for Charles and Thomas. They realized that they were not just dealing with a historical mystery, but a dangerous conspiracy that had its roots in the past and its reach in the present. The stakes were higher than they had ever imagined, and the danger was all too real. Despite the danger, they were undeterred. They had come too far to back down now. They were closer than ever to solving the mystery, and they wouldn't let anything stand in their way. Back at the Laurels, they pored over Lady Edith's notes, looking for any clue that could lead them to the treasure. They discovered references to a secret chamber within the ruins, a chamber that held the key to the treasure. Armed with this new information, they decided to return to the ruins. The ruins, under the light of the moon, were a sight to behold. The ancient stones seemed to glow with an ethereal light, casting long shadows that danced with the whispering wind. The air was thick with anticipation as Charles and Thomas made their way to the secret chamber. Inside the chamber, they found an ancient pedestal with a slot that matched the shape of the amulet. With bated breath, Charles placed the amulet in the slot. The chamber came alive with a soft glow, revealing a hidden passage. The passage led them to a hidden vault filled with treasures beyond their wildest dreams. Gold, jewels, and artifacts of immeasurable historical significance filled the room. But the real treasure was a scroll, a historical document that told the story of the lost civilization. As they held the scroll in their hands, they realized the magnitude of their discovery. They had not just found a treasure, but a piece of history that could change the world. But they also knew that they had to protect it, to keep it safe from those who would misuse it. As they made their way back to the Laurels, they knew that their journey was far from over. They had solved the mystery of Lady Edith's death, but they were now guardians of a secret that they had to protect at all costs. The discovery of the treasure marked the end of one journey and the beginning of another. Charles and Thomas had solved the mystery of Lady Edith's death, but they were now the custodians of a secret that could change the course of history. They knew they had a responsibility to protect the treasure and the knowledge it held. Back at the Laurels, they took steps to secure the treasure. They knew they were dealing with powerful adversaries who would stop at nothing to get their hands on the treasure. They had to be vigilant, prepared for any threat that might come their way. In the days that followed, they worked tirelessly to document the artifacts and translate the ancient scroll. They discovered that the scroll told the story of a powerful civilization that had thrived thousands of years ago. It spoke of their knowledge, their culture, and their downfall. It was a piece of history that had the potential to rewrite the history books. As they delved deeper into the scroll, they also found references to other treasures, other secrets that the civilization had left behind. They realized that their journey was far from over. They had a mission, a purpose that went beyond solving a murder mystery. In the quiet village of St. Mary Mead, life went on. The villagers were oblivious to the storm that had raged within the Laurels. They went about their daily lives, unaware of the secrets that had been unearthed and the dangers that had been faced. Charles and Thomas, once strangers brought together by a shared mission, had become allies. They had faced danger, solved a mystery, and discovered a treasure. But their journey was far from over. They had a mission to fulfill, a legacy to protect. As they stood in the grand hall of the Laurels, they made a pact. They would protect the treasure and the secrets it held. They would continue Lady Edith's work, honoring her memory by preserving the history she had dedicated her life to uncovering. And so, as the sun set over St. Mary Mead, a new chapter began. A chapter filled with adventure, danger, and the promise of discoveries that could change the world. Charles Cavendish and Thomas Blackwood, guardians of the past, were ready to face whatever came their way. Dear listener, as we draw the curtains on the secret of the Laurels, an adventure in St. Mary Mead, we leave behind the quaint village and the grand manor, the labyrinth of secrets, and the echoes of a civilization lost in time. We bid farewell to Charles Cavendish and Thomas Blackwood, the unlikely allies bound by a shared mission. their journey far from over. We've journeyed through the terrains of enigma and suspense, dared to tread into the epicenter of peril, and discovered a treasure potent enough to alter the course of history. We've been spectators to displays of bravery and resolve, treachery and duplicity, and the relentless pursuit of truth by those undeterred by challenges. As you return to the realm of the ordinary, may the tale of the Laurels linger in your thoughts, its mysteries whispering in the quiet moments, its characters living on in your imagination. Remember, dear listener, that every end is but a new beginning, and every story told is but a doorway to 1,000 more. Thank you for joining us on this journey at the Dreamy Drift. We hope that our tale has stirred your imagination, sparked your curiosity, and left you with a sense of wonder. Until we meet again, dear listener, may your dreams be filled with stories, and may your stories be as enchanting as dreams. Good night and sweet dreams.